do you feel like there's any upside or downside, being a black female filmmaker, making films about other black women? Is that something that is, where you feel like you're going to be somehow pigeonholed, or, it's like, or diminished? I mean, also just simply as being a female, filmmaker, which...
I mean, I worried about that going into this. This is why I was adamant about not making another film about a black woman. But it was... But then who was going to make the film? And so I kept feeling like I have also a responsibility to make films that I want to see. And this is a story that I would want to know about. There are very few stories that we get to see where a woman, and a woman of color, is uncompromisingly the lead. I mean, she's the main character. And she wins in the end, and I find that astonishing. Most of our stories are about us as victims, and we lose, and we're noble, and everyone gets to feel good. You tried. But the thing about Angela that is both attractive and also frustrating is she really doesn't care what any of us think. And so she gives you a lot to think about.
Did that come through to you as well when you were interviewing her?
She was a tough interview, and it took me a while to realize how much she was actually giving me, because she's not, I wanted her to be Philippe Petit in Man on Wire. Like, George, he was the love of my life. Oh, yes, and ooh la la. Like, this is what I wanted. But here's a woman who has never been that. She is shy, and she is intellectual, and it could have been a real nightmare. But I had to actually not just read the transcript, not just listen to the interview, I had to watch the interview very closely. So for instance, when she talks about George Jackson, and then she says he was a passionate writer. I mean, she doesn't wiggle with a smile on her face, but ladies, when we wiggle and pat our hair, what are we saying? And so, it was really important for me. I was like, there are very few opportunities with a documentary. Most documentaries are made for TV. Like, that's the way it works, and that's okay. This story is a political crime drama with a love story at the center. I yearn for it to be on the big screen, and I wanted it to be something that you had to watch, not something you could just listen to. And I had to kind of also pay attention to her interview in that way. And there's so much information there that if you just watch closely,